I wake up to a new day, feeling a familiar emptiness inside. Today begins my 1 week journey to awaken my spiritual power. I've lived too long disconnected from my true self. Each morning feels the same, going through motions without purpose. But something deep within tells me there's more to life than this. Spiritual power isn't some mystical force reserved for the enlightened few. It's our birthright, the inner strength that guides us through life's challenges. This power fuels our creativity, compassion, and determination. When we access it, we become agents of positive change in our world. A life of purpose and joy awaits those who awaken to their spiritual nature. I look in the mirror and see someone playing small. Fear has been my constant companion for too long. Society taught me to doubt my intuition, to follow established paths. My childhood messages still echo, be practical, don't dream too big. These limiting beliefs have kept me trapped in my comfort zone. I've spent years caring too much about others' opinions. The weight of expectations from family and friends shaped my choices. Cultural conditioning told me what success should look like. I lost touch with my authentic voice amid all the external noise. Now I realize these barriers are just illusions I've accepted as truth. Today marks the beginning of reclaiming my spiritual power. I start with a simple meditation practice each morning. Just 5 minutes of silence to quiet my chattering mind. Breathing deeply, I notice thoughts passing like clouds. I don't judge them or chase them, just observe and release. As days pass, I extend my meditation time gradually. The mental chatter begins to subside, revealing something deeper. A sense of peace emerges from this quiet space within. I feel more centered, more present in each moment. My intuition speaks more clearly when I create space to listen. Visualization becomes my second daily practice. I close my eyes and imagine myself embodying my highest potential. I see myself radiating confidence, wisdom, and compassion. This isn't wishful thinking, it's programming my subconscious mind. What we repeatedly visualize, we begin to manifest. I create powerful affirmations to reinforce my spiritual awakening. I am connected to infinite wisdom and power. My intuition guides me to my highest good. I trust the journey of my soul's evolution. These statements feel strange at first, almost like lies, but I repeat them with conviction, knowing they plant seeds of truth. Each morning I set intentions for how I want to show up in the world. Each evening I reflect on moments of connection and growth. This simple routine creates a container for transformation. Small changes begin to appear in my daily experience. I notice synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that feel like signs. Colors seem more vibrant, food tastes more flavorful, I feel emotions more deeply yet remain more centered. My reactions to stress begin to shift from anxiety to curiosity. I'm becoming an observer of my life rather than a victim of circumstances. By midweek, I experience a profound insight during meditation. I am not separate from the universe around me. The boundaries I perceived were illusions of the ego. In reality, I am an expression of the same energy that powers stars. This realization floods me with a sense of belonging and purpose. I see now how my thoughts create ripples in the fabric of reality. My words and actions affect others in ways I can't always measure. This interconnectedness brings both responsibility and freedom. I'm responsible for my energy and its impact on the world, yet I'm free from the burden of isolation and disconnection. I begin to make choices aligned with this new understanding. I speak with more intention, knowing my words carry power. I consume media mindfully, protecting my mental environment. I approach relationships with greater presence and compassion. I listen more deeply to others, hearing beyond their words. Nature becomes my greatest teacher in this awakening process. I spend time outdoors each day observing the wisdom all around me. Trees demonstrate patience and resilience through changing seasons. Water shows the power of flexibility and persistent movement. Animals embody presence, fully engaged in the now moment. The natural world reminds me that spiritual power isn't about control. It's about aligning with the greater rhythms of life. It's surrendering to forces larger than my individual desires. It's trusting the intelligence that orchestrates ecosystems and galaxies. This trust brings a profound peace I've never known before. Challenges still arise throughout my week of awakening. Old habits and thought patterns don't disappear overnight. There are moments when I slip back into fear and limitation. But now I notice these patterns more quickly when they emerge. I've developed tools to return to my center when I lose my way. Self-compassion becomes essential in this spiritual journey. I learned to treat myself with the same kindness I'd offer a good friend. My imperfections aren't flaws, they're aspects of my humanity. My mistakes aren't failures, they're opportunities for growth. This gentle approach accelerates my awakening more than harsh discipline. Dreams become vivid during this week of spiritual practice. My subconscious mind processes deep shifts while I sleep. I record these dreams upon waking, looking for patterns and messages. They offer symbolic guidance about my path forward. This connection to my dream world bridges conscious and unconscious realms. Energy moves differently through my body as the week progresses. I feel sensations of warmth, tingling, or pulsing during meditation. My posture improves naturally as tension releases from old holding patterns. I breathe more fully, taking in life force with each inhalation. This embodied awareness grounds my spiritual experience. Insights arrive unexpectedly throughout ordinary moments. While washing dishes, I understand the nature of impermanence. During a conversation, I perceive the other person's deeper needs. Watching clouds shift forms, I grasp the fluidity of identity. These realizations aren't intellectual, they're felt deeply in my being. My creativity flows more freely as spiritual energy awakens. I find myself writing poetry for the first time in years. Colors call to me, inspiring spontaneous painting sessions. Music moves through me differently, touching emotional depths. This creative expression becomes another form of spiritual practice. I notice changes in my relationships as I change internally. Some people are drawn to this new energy I'm embodying. Others seem uncomfortable with who I'm becoming. I learned to hold space for these varied responses without judgment. My boundaries clarify naturally as I honor my spiritual path. Synchronicities increase dramatically by day 5. I think of someone moments before they call. Books fall open to exactly the passage I need to read. The perfect teacher appears just as I formulate a question. These coincidences confirm I'm aligning with a higher intelligence. My sense of time shifts subtly throughout this week. I spend more moments in flow state where time seems to expand. I'm less rushed, more present with each task at hand. Yet I accomplish more than before with this focused attention. This paradox of timelessness within time fascinates me. Physical sensations accompany my spiritual awakening. Sometimes I experience waves of emotion releasing from my body. I might cry unexpectedly or laugh from a place of pure joy. These emotional releases cleanse old energies from my system. My body is integrating these new frequencies of awareness. By day 6, I notice enhanced intuitive abilities. I sense what others are feeling before they express it. I know which path to take at decision points without analysis. Information arrives in my awareness without logical progression. I'm learning to trust these intuitive flashes more fully. My meditation deepens toward the end of the week. The boundary between meditation and daily life begins to dissolve. I maintain meditative awareness while engaged in normal activities. This present moment consciousness transforms mundane into sacred. Ordinary experiences reveal extraordinary depth and meaning. I recognize how my attention is actually a form of energy. Where I place my focus, energy follows naturally. This understanding helps me curate my thoughts more carefully. I direct my attention toward what I want to nurture and expand. This conscious direction of energy is spiritual power in action. My relationship with difficulty transforms dramatically. Challenges no longer appear as obstacles to happiness. Instead, they reveal themselves as opportunities for growth. I welcome resistance as a strengthening force in my development. This perspective shift makes me more resilient and adaptable. I notice subtle energy fields around people and living things. Sometimes colors or light appears in my peripheral vision. I sense atmospheres in rooms and spaces more acutely. This heightened perception brings new dimensions to experience. I neither cling to these phenomena nor dismiss them as imagination. The concept of surrender gains new meaning in my understanding. It's not about giving up or admitting defeat. True surrender is releasing attachment to outcomes. It's trusting the greater wisdom operating through all life. In this surrender, I paradoxically find my greatest strength. My sense of identity expands beyond previous limitations. I am more than my body, thoughts, and personal history. I am consciousness experiencing itself through this unique form. This realization doesn't diminish my individuality. Instead, it contextualizes my personal journey within something vaster. My compassion grows naturally from this expanded perspective. I see others struggling within their own limited perceptions. Their actions, even hurtful ones, reflect their current awareness. This understanding doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it allows me to respond with wisdom rather than reaction. By day 7, gratitude overflows spontaneously. I appreciate simple pleasures with newfound intensity. The miracle of existence itself moves me to reverence. Even difficulties appear as gifts when viewed through this lens. Gratitude becomes a gateway to even deeper spiritual connection. I review my journal entries from the beginning of this journey. The transformation over just 1 week astonishes me, not because I've become perfect or achieved enlightenment, but because I've experienced the potential we all carry within. This awakening is available to anyone willing to look inward. On this final day, I realize spiritual awakening isn't a destination. It's an ongoing journey of remembering and forgetting, of waking up again and again to deeper truths. The practice is returning to presence when I inevitably drift. This understanding removes the pressure of achieving enlightenment. I see now that spiritual power isn't something to acquire. It's already within me, waiting to be recognized and expressed. The barriers were always illusions I created and maintained. My journey wasn't about gaining something new. It was about removing the veils obscuring what was always present. This week has shown me that small, consistent practices create profound change. 5 minutes of daily meditation expanded into transformed perception. Simple affirmations reshaped my subconscious beliefs. Brief nature connections deepened my understanding of universal laws. These accessible practices can be integrated into any lifestyle. The physical world appears different to me now. Not because it changed, but because I see with new eyes. Material reality reveals itself as energy in constant motion. Objects appear more transparent, more temporary, yet also more sacred in their momentary manifestation. I realize I've been seeking in the wrong direction, looking outside myself for validation and fulfillment, chasing achievements and possessions for a sense of worth. This outward focus kept me disconnected from my source. True spiritual power flows from within to without, not the reverse. My priorities have clarified through this awakening process. What once seemed urgent now appears trivial. Concerns that consumed me weekly ago have lost their charge. I distinguish more easily between essential and optional. This clarity creates space for what truly matters in my life. The way I make decisions has fundamentally shifted. I no longer rely solely on logic and analysis. I check in with my body's wisdom and intuitive knowing. I consider impacts beyond immediate consequences. This integrated approach leads to more aligned choices. I see how my consciousness affects material reality. My thoughts and emotions create tangible effects in my experience. This understanding brings both power and responsibility. I'm more careful about what I nurture in my mental garden. The seeds I plant today create tomorrow's reality. Fear loses its grip on me through this awakening process. Not because dangers disappear from my life, but because I recognize fear as just one advisor among many. I can acknowledge its message without being controlled by it. This freedom from fear's dominance is true empowerment. As this week concludes, I commit to continuing this journey. The practices that awaken my spiritual power will remain in my daily routine. I'll keep exploring the depths of consciousness available to me. I'll share what I've learned with others open to this wisdom. But I'll honor each person's unique spiritual timeline and path. The greatest lesson from this week is both simple and profound. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Our essential nature is boundless consciousness and love. We've forgotten this truth under layers of conditioning. Awakening is simply the process of remembering who we truly are. This remembering isn't achieved through force or struggle. It happens naturally when we create space for presence, when we quiet the mind enough to hear the whispers of wisdom, when we open the heart enough to feel our connection to all life, when we surrender enough to allow grace to move through us. My 1-week journey didn't create something new within me. It revealed what was always there beneath the surface. The spiritual power I sought wasn't hiding or distant. It was simply waiting for my recognition and permission to express. This realization fills me with hope for humanity's evolution. If such transformation is possible in just 1 week of practice, imagine what's possible for individuals committed to this path. Imagine communities supporting each other's awakening. Imagine societies built on principles of spiritual wisdom. This vision inspires me to continue my journey with renewed purpose. The awakening of spiritual power isn't selfish or self-centered. It's the most significant contribution we can make to our world. As we heal our own divisions, we help heal collective wounds. As we embody peace, we create more peaceful environments. Our personal transformation ripples outward in countless ways. I end this week profoundly grateful for this experience, grateful for the challenges that pushed me toward growth, grateful for the insights that expanded my perception, grateful for the practices that anchored my awakening, grateful for the mystery that continues to unfold before me. This journey has just begun and I embrace it with an open heart. Each day brings new opportunities to deepen this awareness. Each interaction offers chances to express this spiritual power. Each challenge presents openings for greater understanding. The path continues, moment by moment, breath by breath. I invite you to consider your own spiritual awakening, not as something distant or reserved for special individuals, but as your natural birthright available in this very moment. The power you seek is already within you, waiting to be recognized. Your journey may look different from mine, but it's equally sacred. Start with small practices that resonate with your nature. 5 minutes of silence, a mindful walk, journal reflections. These simple beginnings can catalyze profound transformation. Trust your intuition to guide your unique spiritual path. The universe supports your awakening in ways you cannot yet imagine. Remember that spiritual power isn't about control or dominance. It's about alignment with your authentic nature. It's about service to something greater than personal desire. It's about recognizing the divine expressing through your humanity. This recognition changes everything while changing nothing. The outer circumstances of your life may remain the same, but your experience of those circumstances transforms completely. Challenges become teachers. Obstacles become opportunities. Ordinary moments reveal extraordinary beauty and meaning. This is the promise and gift of spiritual awakening. I step forward into a new day, forever changed by this journey. The emptiness that once drove me has been filled with presence. The questions that haunted me have dissolved in understanding. The separation I felt has melted into profound connection. My spiritual power flows naturally now, guiding each step I take. And so the journey continues, an eternal unfolding of consciousness, a dance of forgetting and remembering, sleeping and awakening, a sacred spiral leading both inward to essence and outward to expression. This is our human adventure, our divine opportunity. This is the path of awakening to our spiritual power.